10-year note yields move higher to end the week. Initially on the non-farm payroll number we got, which came in as expected. There was some talk back and forth about whether it was going to be a little weaker, a little stronger. Came in relatively on the screws. We saw yields move lower initially, get all the way down to 420. Kind of treading water, seeing a little bit of a creep up higher. And then the Fed chair spoke and he reiterated his semi-annual testimony headline, which basically said that the Fed can be patient and waiting to cut rates. They don't need to be aggressive. That took 10-year note yields to the highs of the session, north of 430, where they closed just above 430 to end the session. Higher on the day, much higher. Let me up 11 basis points on the week. And the significance of that is that it's the first weekly close higher in 7 weeks. The last 6 weeks, we've seen yields closing lower on a weekly basis. Today, we saw them closing higher by 11 basis points from last Friday's close. Again, after a so-so jobs data came out, we saw yields kind of moving steadily lower, but then the Fed chair, again, reiterating his more hawkish stance, took yields out on the highs of the session, closing higher in the day and higher on the week for the first time in a month and a half. Now, what does this mean for volatility? Well, check out that CVol index over at cmegroup.com. You'll see volatility, which has been higher pretty much all week, did see a move lower. However, kind of ended the week unchanged. So as we saw yields moving higher on the week, volatility was lower on the day, but unchanged on the week. Lastly, let's talk about what we have next week after today's jobs and Mr. Powell speech. Next week, it's all about inflation and supply. We get CPI and PPI. We also get the refunding, which is a 3, 10, and 30-year auction. One thing we won't get next week is Fed speakers. They go into their blackout period ahead of the March FOMC. So after a very busy week, yields moving lower, we actually see them move higher to end the week, closing north of 430, higher by 11 basis points from last Friday's close. Ahead of next week's CPI, PPI, 3, 10, and 30-year auctions, but no Fed speakers.